We always, okay, as we always discuss or state at the beginning of this conversation, the conversation is recorded because it is the objective, one of the objectives, I believe, for the Glasser Institute is to use this as a teaching tool, right? As an opportunity to reach some other people. But also we record because there are people who have expressed interest somewhere. And so the idea is that if it's recorded, then they can go back and view it. So whether it's because the time is not a good time for them or whatever, people may not be able to sit in on the conversation. And I think sometimes too, it might be interesting to listen to a conversation, and not actually be a part of it and having to deal with the emotionality of what's being discussed while in the moments, right? So that may be part of what happens for people, but however they do it, it's fine. So the recording is available, and any of you can go back and watch it as well. I was reminded that you do not have to be a member of the Glasser Institute to be able to view these videos. It is probably not necessary, but it is, I believe it's my duty to remind people that in this space, we choose to use the connecting habits versus the disconnecting habits, meaning that that we're not gonna choose to use violence against anyone in the group. So I'm just gonna drop the connecting habits in here so that we know exactly what we're talking about. And so we have an acronym we use here in the Southern Center for Choice Theory for the connecting habits. It's ANTLERS. You have to make it easier for me to remember, my old brain. And so the A is for accepting. We're going to accept each other the way we present ourselves. The N, negotiating differences. We're going to be respectful, use that old solving circle and be respectful of each other. So we're going to talk about things in a respectful, assertive manner. Trusting, we are going to be trustworthy and trust the other to be able to speak their truth. L, listening. We're going to use our listening ears because there's no way we can get to the other side of these difficulties that we have in our society if we're not listening to each other. Encouraging, we're going to be encouraging of each other, encouraging of the topic, encouraging of the person who's presenting information. We're going to be respectful, and we're going to be supporting. I think that's all 7 of the connecting habits. I'm pretty sure it is because we have that handy dandy little acronym, ANTLERS, and those are the 7. Those are all the letters. I think I got all the letters. I didn't write it down. So Marty, if I miss something or somebody else, if I miss something, y'all, I have no problem. But we're going, I'm sorry. Your microphone is muted, Marty.
I just said that's all 7 of them.
That's all 7. Yep. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So that's what we're going to practice here. We're just going to practice using the connecting habits versus the disconnecting. I have not memorized the disconnecting, and I think disconnecting habits that Glasser identified because I believe that it makes more sense to focus on the thing that we want to do as opposed to the thing that we don't want to do. And if we practice using the behaviors that we want to I want to say enfold, but I know that's not the right word, but we want to become a part of our everyday living, then that's what we do. We practice those connecting habits as opposed to the disconnecting. So that's us being appropriate with each other. I am the chair of the Glasser Institute's Council on Diversity. Chair of the Diversity Council, however they've stated it, doesn't matter. Thank you. And I'm telling you, my brain is so tired. I'm telling you, my brain is really tired. But I would not miss this meeting for anything in the world. And my wonderful co-chair is Ahmos Neb Pethera. And I am very appreciative of Neb choosing to join me. He was asked by Kim too to come and support me because I was really struggling in the beginning, but things have really changed since then. And I have to say, from my perspective, I owe a lot of it to Neb, because every time in the beginning, as soon as we get off one of these calls, I call him and say, Neb, was it okay? Da, 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 da. And he's helped me to get to a place where not only is my level of competence improving, but my level of confidence is improving. And so I really need him as my co-facilitator in this struggle. But also Marty is a wonderful support, and so is Judith, and then all the folks who come to join. But I'm pointing them out specifically because they're Glasser Institute people. And we don't get all the Glasser Institute people to come here and join us, but that's okay. What Neb told me once before is everybody's not at the same place as us. And so we just keep talking and pulling them along. But anyway, so that's that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Neb and Marty to lead us in a conversation about how we can improve. I don't want to use the word improve, include others. And so Doug had an idea that I did not write down. So Doug, I'm going to ask you to say it again. Oh, technology. You said the technology. Okay.
Right.
Technology may be a challenge. All right. And Rhonda, did you have something?
Come on. Yeah, a lot of times people see the word diversity in the title and they may not want to participate because they might not understand what we are meaning by diversity and all. And a way to get more people to come is go to those particular communities and talk about difficult discussions and all, like go to the Hispanic community or whatever. Okay.
Good, thank you. All right, now I'm muting my microphone and I'm gonna ask Marty. Marty's already unmuted his, and I'm gonna ask Neb to unmute his. And since y'all started, this conversation, I'm gonna back up and let y'all facilitate.
One of the things that I would say is that if we know of people of different ethnic backgrounds, or however we want to say it, to invite them to the meeting. It's kind of like with Ted, and there's a couple other people that I know of that are Native Americans, for instance, that I could invite or send them the link to join us. So I think if you know of someone that you think would benefit from our group, then invite them or send them the link.
All right. No.
It's always good to let your elders go first, because their ideas are always better than yours.
Okay, Neb.
I was thinking along the same lines, direct invitations. How do we invite not only persons from different backgrounds, but even persons from the same background? Right. What we're talking about is expanding the interest, not necessarily turning it into, only this group and that group and that group. Those persons are of course special, especially as we address those topics, because we want people who are familiar with their topics to come forward. but I was thinking, we used to get a membership book,
Yes.
and in that book would be listed all of the members who were certified. And now it's electronic. But I mean, is there a way that we can use social media to contact them, and whether they respond or not is up to them. But to say, we are especially sending you an invite, and maybe we do 20 this week and this month and 20 more next month. I mean, I don't know how you would choose them, but, maybe the membership committee knows, because they can also do it as they attempt to re-engage the membership. Just add on a tag on. Yes, these are the committees or groups that meet. Maybe you'd like to choose one or two to attend, just to get that kind of thing. Because some people need a direct invitation. They would come if someone just asked them. And it doesn't matter necessarily about what the topic is. It's, oh, you're special enough to receive this invite, and the other piece of that connection is through the regional reps. I mean, invite some people as a regional rep. First, we invite the regional reps too. Say, listen, we're having this, and bring along some members. Each one reach one. Just the thought. I mean, sometimes you don't have to do everything. Sometimes you can do everything through the people who are closest to the organization, because I'm sure the regional reps want more people. Well, I'm not sure, but I hope the regional reps want more people involved. I mean, I started to make a declarative statement without any evidence, as you know. That is you're on shaky ground with that. But I hope that those people who represent the regions are getting the people in their regions more engaged. And so some of those people would then reach out to people and say, listen, Marty comes and he's on the West Coast. And so he has to get up early in the morning. So you certainly can get up at a reasonable time in the central and da. I mean, so I think that we can work through the structure of the organization to improve attendance. And I don't know if the other committees do that, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about what anybody else is doing. I'm talking about what we're doing, because what we're providing is something of value. Not that they aren't. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's important. And I don't know, maybe Gloria can answer that. I mean, I know you send out the link, but I don't know if there's a way that you could add in your thing some of those people, especially some of the regional representatives, and encourage them, as well as a lot of us who teach the concepts and do the same thing. I'm doing a basic week in Wenatchee, Washington. And it just dawned on me that I should be taking along with me a handout that includes this meeting, our meetings, and kind of push it from that point of view.
Yeah, I like that. I like those ideas. I really do. And I hope that everybody's taking, making little notes about, how we can get more people involved, just involved in general. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on in our country that we could really manage or address if we were all on the same page and having a similar conversation. And I think that the conversation around choice theory would help us do this whole stop trying to control other people. Charlene, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Say what you're going to say, then we're going to give Ross a chance, because I remember that in mid speech that Charlene's is in another event. So go ahead, Neil.
Oh, okay, just quickly, I wanted to say, especially for those who are still working, you're members of other organizations. They don't have to be choice theory people to be invited. So when you communicate within these other organizations, it is also appropriate because they are welcome here.
That's exactly right. And then, you know what, before you said that, I was thinking that, so I'm presenting at the World Association for Infant Mental Health in Ireland in July. And so the infant mental health people are not aware of choice theory, but I'll have an opportunity to talk about choice theory because the presentation I'm doing is on choice theory and reflective supervision, which is an IMH process. And then I'm doing a whole intro to choice theory for the LPCAGA conference in May. And all those people aren't choice theorists. And so I'm gonna add, like in there, join us on the third Saturday of each month at 2:00 for a conversation around diversity. So that those things make sense. And so we can invite everybody in here is not certified in choice theory. And so, but anyway, okay, great. Thank you again, Neb. Ross has his hand up, and then I saw Charlene.
So if we're just talking about increasing numbers across the board, I don't know the answer to this question, but I wonder if there's a specific day that might be more amenable to some than others. The weekend has its advantages in that most people aren't working. But at the same time, some people might prefer their weekends to be free from time. So maybe an evening time might get other people. So I know there are pros and cons to both, and I don't know the answer, but it's just something I'm thinking about.
I got you. And that's all we're doing is brainstorming.
So this is Charlene. I kind of stepped out the room. I agree with what everyone else is saying. Where I live now is a University of North Carolina at Pembroke, and there is a triracial area. So we have a lot of Native Americans here. And my daughter is in this program working on her master's in social work. So I was at a consortium recently. So I say that to say that this is information that I can pass on to to the professors there so that they can let their students know about the diversity call on Saturdays. Is there any way to get CEUs for this call?
Actually, you will get a CE for attending this class, Charlene, because the Glasser Institute included it as a that's one of the benefits, I guess. I was sitting here and writing as I was listening to you all, and what would be the benefit for other people to join the conversation. And so as you can actually, I need to create a certificate, or I'll ask Denise to create a certificate, a CE certificate, and you can receive a CE for participating in this conversation. Yes.
So you would get one
CE for
1 hour.
participating in this, in this conversation. That's definitely a benefit for us therapy people, right?
Oh, sure, for sure.
Now, it might not necessarily be a benefit for non-therapy people, but it's designed to pull more, clinical people in. And so then I think it would also be beneficial to think of what's in it for me. How would it benefit non-therapists? So Doug is a non-therapist. And almost every other person is an emerging therapist or a therapist. So Doug, what do you see as a benefit that we could actually use as a marketing tool? So the CE is one. It would definitely, 12 hours. We do it every month. I get 12 hours. Yeah. Go ahead, Doug. Oh man, I put him on the spot.
Yeah, I have nothing's coming to mind right now. I guess without that connection to to the therapy connection, I guess, the people that tend to be more altruistic,
Mhm, mhm.
that I think it would very much appeal to a person like that. That's all that I can think of at the moment. So
Okay,
I guess those that are kind of out already participating in things, or are open to those type of events. Then the question is, what's communication means do we have to kind of get that word out?
mhm, mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I think is what was being said earlier, is those personal connections that you have, use communicate those out appropriately, and then of course then social media. I'm not real big into social media, so I don't know exactly how what kind of response to it maybe anticipate from that, I guess, that strategy.
Mhm, mhm. Mm, okay. We'll have to continue to think about it. I was in a meeting and it came up a value add. So what is the value that would be added to someone's life for participating in these conversations? And so, it's not necessarily clinical. It's not a clinical conversation we're having. Although clinicians have to do diversity training, right? We have to participate in some, and so it can be, but people have an opportunity to learn things from different groups, increase their capacity to engage or whatever. We can brainstorm and think about what would be the benefit for somebody. So, but I mean, for all of us who come here, we've been getting some benefit long before today when I said that, oh yeah, I found out that we can get 1 CE for participating in this class, and Charlene asked that question. So, but there was some benefit to us even before we knew that was the case. So prior to then hearing that information, what was the benefit for you for participating in this conversation? Anybody?
So how would you go about, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I
Elders
was gonna
off
say,
first.
how would you go about, and maybe you said that, I just got a phone call from my son, long distance. So anyway, I was gonna say, so how would you go about doing that? What's the documentation? Do we just contact you or what?
For the CE?
Yeah,
So I have to, because I wouldn't have even thought about it if Charlene hadn't brought it up, because it really is a value add. And but I'm gonna communicate with Denise, because she generally generates the CEs from the Glasser Institute,
uh-huh.
and have her. I always write down who comes, so I keep a roll, and then it's recorded. So that's proof of your participation. So, and I'm sure, because I know in Georgia, when I get CEs, the requirement is that you stay for the whole hour. But yeah, so I'll ask Denise for a certificate, and then I'll start sharing with her a list of names of people who attend, and ask her to just send out the certificate for
So
the.
just, so an automatic thing, so we don't have to do anything.
No,
Okay.
not at this point. I'm gonna tell you though, we're developing some policies around some things,
Right.
and some of the other and I actually have, because we have the CEs through NBCC, so I'm actually reading through the NBCC guidelines. And
Yeah.
sometimes there's like a little an evaluation that you have to do, but we didn't get there yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Because say with what I think this is probably why Charlene was bringing it up. I think a lot of people would be attracted, not only by the subject, but the fact that the time that they spend will be, they'll be earning something for it. So
I think that's it's a good thing to start letting people know. I asked Denise to put that on our when she sends out the email, or even on the website.
yeah, on the website for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. And Nev had something he wanted to add.
I was thinking, especially for the Southeast region,
Mhm.
Florida, all
Mm,
of those therapists or clinicians there, they're under duress because of what the governor is doing. And we might be a value added in that particular area,
mm,
especially since they can get the CEs.
and it's the NBCC, so it's national.
Yeah, I mean, and just the whole question of understanding diversity, because the attack is on anything that says D,
Mhm,
you know.
mhm,
So
mhm,
they at this point, many of them have to go outside the state, even
mhm,
though the courts have held up some things that the governor has tried to institute. At
mhm,
the same time, many of the people in the state, if they can't leave, they're under duress. They're covering
mm,
books. They're doing lots of things. We're talking about increasing diversity. They're talking about reducing diversity.
mm,
So, and
mhm,
equity. So that I was just thinking, Florida is a great target. Hopefully it's the only one.
Okay. So we'll have to see how we can reach out to other states. Professional development is, so Ross, can you say that? Because it's a little bit of it is popping up in the bottom. Just go on and say it.
Yeah.
please.
I was going to say professional development is discussed a lot, but for me, personal development is a big reason that I come to conversations like this. I think that we all become better humans and better community members by having these types of talks. So that's one of the big reasons that I come. I don't know how well that will sell to others to get them to come, but I think personal development is big for me.
Yeah, I was just kind of reflecting on I invited my coworker, my friend, one time, and he joined the call by phone a while back, and he really liked it. And so I was trying to figure out, okay, what would be the benefit for him, because he's not in psychology and all. And then, I was just thinking that maybe one of the things is that it's better understanding and understanding the viewpoints of people different from you that are within your community, or maybe not. I guess I keep forgetting that this is we've got people from a lot of different places here, but just trying to understand, I guess, getting viewpoints and understanding the perspectives of people that are different from you, and kind of along that lines of a personal development and understanding the world.
We do, after all, live in a global society. Understand. I'm writing these down. Although I'm sure. Okay. Okay, good, great, great, great. What else? This is good. You guys are making some, and because I know Denise listens to these, when I send her the recording, she always listens to them. So if I forget to add something, or talk to her about something, she'll probably mention it too.
So we can always invite Denise too.
We sure can.
And
I'm gonna tell you though, I've tried to get in touch with her on Saturday. It's not easy.
right.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt my senior fellow, but I have a suggestion, and it involves Marty. I
Oh,
I would like to recommend that he does a TED talk on RTCT and focus on diversity. And I reject. If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
You guys are a mess. Y'all are a mess. You know what I mean?
I did do a talk on what is it? Mona Duncan's thing.
That's not a TED Talk. I did a conversation on Mona's thing too. Did you do one now? But it's not a TED Talk. Come
I'm
on now,
retired.
Marty.
What?
No, Nev was saying something.
Oh yeah. What would you?
I merely said that I'm retired.
Well, I like that. I'm retired too. I
Oh my God, y'all are so funny.
quite a while.
Y'all are really funny.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
But I'm really serious, and I think
Okay.
Marty would be great on a TED Talk. And I mean, you can nominate him. All you do, fill out the form and send it in. You don't even need his permission.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm sure Bob has already done that.
That doesn't matter. His would be different than yours.
It sure would be, but
Yeah, just because something's been done once doesn't mean it can't be done again. And because every person's perspective is going to be a little bit different.
true. That's true.
And I really like the way you teach, Marty. I'm serious about that. And you're getting ready to do a week, and you're a senior faculty member. You've been around a little while, and I do appreciate what you offer. So I am serious about that part.
Well, thank you. And I would really have to think about that and see what I would put together.
Okay, so we're gonna ask you about it every once in a while, Marty. We're gonna be your support network.
Excuse me. When I was being trained, the question was, so when will you do it?
Oh,
It wasn't, we're going to ask you about it every now and then. So the question to Marty is, so when will you
when will you do it? Oh no.
Oh, well, I have several things on my plate right now. So as soon as I clean those up, then I think I can then focus on something like that.
All right, we'll wait to hear back from you, Marty.
Okay.
We know that Nev is gonna poke you every now and then to see
I
how
know.
it's going. He's a
Pain.
No, he's a college professor. Okay, a retired college professor.
Right, a pain.
The important thing is to get a commitment, and we've gotten a commitment that the plate, he only has one plate on the table, so there are some clean plates.
Now, how do you know? Anyway, it's on my mind now, so it's on my mind. So we'll see.
We'll see. Good. Wonderful. All right. Anything else, y'all? Anything else?
I would say maybe at the board meeting, you can invite Vicky to join us next month.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's a good idea. Vicky's been here.
Has she?
Yeah, a couple of times recently. Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder where I was. I here too?
She was quiet mostly.
Oh, okay.
Here.
She probably didn't have her video on, but because I don't.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't recall her having her video on when she came. Not during the meeting, but she's been here.
Well, you should invite some more board members to join us.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I think maybe if they understand what's going on, they can also get people from their regions to become involved.
Uh-huh. Sure.
But that doesn't negate the rest of us here that's not involved with the Glasser Institute. We can always ask a personal friend like Doug did and invite people to join us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
add to our conversations?
Yes, we can do that. Mhm.
And this is my last comment. We can
No, it's
also,
not.
we can also say, I mean, to those faculty who are teaching, that their students can come and present. And, you know, they can come and listen, but they can also come and present. It's also part of that training. You know, we're asking only for an hour a month. So if you're in training to become certified in CT, why not come and get that 1 hour at least during that process?
That's a very,
Working towards certification in CT or something else, because you know, as you were talking, I was thinking it would be a great way to draw in faculty from universities because they need to present, and if they are teaching / in practice, they also need the CEs. So I mean, lots and lots of good stuff is coming out now, but go ahead, Marty. I hope I
I
didn't
was
cut
just
you off.
thinking, as doing advanced weeks, as people are preparing for certification, they have to do that presentation as part of their certification. So this would be a good place to practice and add a little bit to our group, as well as get feedback from those who are instructors.
Third week. Okay.
So because they have to do that 20-minute presentation to get their certification anyway.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm,
So we could be their audience,
mm-hmm.
questions, and learn more about what subject they're presenting.
Okay.
I'm going to
Okay.
bring it up in my group that I'm going to be working with at the end of April.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Wow, y'all, these are really good ideas.
And Judith is working with practicum, doing practicums for people.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can get her to see if some of her people will present to us.
On diversity issues.
Right, or whatever.
Issues associated with diversity.
Yeah,
Okay.
issues associated with diversity, and hopefully bring them to the meeting, have them, they may find it interesting that they want to repeat, continue to attend.
Yeah. You know what I really think is going to be a big deal for many of the programs. And I guess I'll stick to this class, this hour we spend together, is that CE. And if we have the value add, and we can ask Denise to add this on the website, the 2 value adds, the personal development and the CE. So, and those would likely, and then we could make a concerted effort to invite people. Excuse me, I needed to stand up for a moment. Invite other people to participate. All right.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that we can invite one person to join us next month?
Yep.
Not just invite, bring one person with us to the conversation next month. And then we will double our size. And likely find some people or say something that's attractive to other people and maybe get them to continue to join us. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to add about this topic? Barriers. So we're talking about barriers and add-ons, or I can't think of the word. I'm sorry. A whiffle. What's in it for me? Why would I want to do this? I don't even know why I agreed to do this years ago. Okay, sorry, being out loud, but I'm really grateful. I
I
really.
would say in view of everything else, I think personal growth is a big part of it.
Mhm, mhm,
Because I would like to hope that all of us who come each month is grow from what we learn from each other.
mhm, mhm. You know, even the consulting piece and learning how to reflect and then contribute to the conversation. I think that should be, you know, like a kind of personal growth. I think of it as personal growth when, you know, you sit with people and you watch a group of people, even this size, have a conversation and nobody's cutting anybody off. Nobody's, you know, over talking anybody. Um, those who have an opinion are voicing their opinion. Those who don't are not saying anything and not, you know, doing anything to disrupt. So I think that by, what do they call it in consult reflective supervision, they call it modeling and mirroring. So we're modeling a way that people can engage a group, and a diverse group. This is a really diverse group because people are from have a lot of different backgrounds, but we're not getting angry with each other. And if we do, we're not like letting it spew over into our conversation. We are treating each other respectfully. We are, you know, using those connecting habits. I think of it as growth. All right,
Agreed.
okay. Let me see who always has something to say. Shovana, Jody are quiet. Both of them are quiet, and they generally have something to add. We haven't heard from Quandra or Leandria or Brianna. So we have 7 minutes. No, we have 6 minutes. Do y'all have something to add?
Not this time, Dr. Cisse. I was thinking about the question as far as increasing the like the people coming. And all I can think about is the type of content that we discuss. If we just like, for instance, if we want to see more Hispanic people, we would talk about something that Hispanic people can more so relate to, as far as diversity.
Mhm,
And inclusion type stuff, but
mhm,
I don't really know other than advertising, social media platforms, about the conversation, referencing like getting it out to people, like how to let people know that we're here, what Saturdays, what times. Other
okay.
than that, I don't really know.
Hmm. Topics of relevance, right?
Right.
Identifying healthcare resources.
Mm-hmm.
What would be some of the barriers to success for a person from that
Mm-hmm.
group? Okay, good. I'm controlling myself. Okay, thank you, Shavana.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? Jody, I know you're not feeling so good today, but if you have something to offer.
I love what's been said, and I really like what Ross mentioned about just the personal growth that takes place in this space. And then of course, as Shavana just added, having more topics of relevance. So my brain, of course, is not functioning at a normal capacity today, but there's been a lot of great things that have been said, and these conversations are very important. And so the more people that we can bring into these conversations, the better, especially with everything that's going on right now.
Mhm. All right, thank you. Okay. There, Quandra turned her mic on, because you know I was gonna call her name. Okay, go ahead, Quandra.
I felt it. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Just adding onto the conversation and also the development piece. I like what Ross said about the personal development, because it does hits personally in regards to diversity, because that's just a topic that it just appears that people want to stray away from, want to kind of not touch, but it is still touchable because everyone has some type of say so, or everyone has, an opinion or something to contribute when it comes down to having those type of conversations. Along with personal, it's also professional as well, because I get professional development from it also, because the topics that are discussed and the things that are discussed within the meetings, it can be shared, in other places and other spaces. Like if I'm in another group, or if I'm in class or with another group of people, these are conversations that actually come up in another situation or in another space to where it can be expanded on. You're getting additional information. That's why I say professionally, because I'm getting it, but I'm also sharing it and actually expanding the conversation with a different group to see and to get their take on it as well. So personally and professionally, these meetings are actually beneficial to me in a space that I really needed.
Awesome, thank you. I remembered when I was working at Fort Valley, we were going through accreditation through CSWE, and we really kind of had skimmed over the diversity section in the accreditation document, because we were thinking, here we are a historically Black institution, and all of our students, the majority of our students were African American, and so we really didn't need to talk so much, put such a heavy emphasis on diversity. And man, when our I can't remember what she was called, came in to talk to us, she said, but all of your students are going to work with somebody different than them. Diversity is equally important for your students as they would be for anybody else's students. And so and of course there was a course at the university everybody was required to take on cultural diversity, but we somehow thought that was enough. But we do have to think about it. We do have to, all of us have to think about it, and then think about how we're going to do it in a peaceful way. Thank you, Quandra. Anybody else? Leandria, Brianna, you all are the only two left.
No, ma'am, I don't. Well, I can say, only thing I really can say is that I piggyback off of what Rhonda said earlier, would be just to actually reach out and connect with the Hispanic community, other communities, just to communicate and collaborate. That's the only thing I could think of.
Okay, thank you for adding your voice.
Yes, ma'am. I really don't have anything to add today. It was my first time, so I'm just trying to adjust to everything and listen.
Okay. All right, great. So everybody had a chance to say something. Thank you all very much for your for being here. And I really want, because many of these young people are people who are on our team and are interns, and I really want for them to, in this space, to be comfortable, to learn to be comfortable speaking in this kind of, so you may have a point or an issue that comes up, and because this is a group of people that you're not so familiar with, you might not say it, but I want you guys to get to be really comfortable saying what you feel needs to be said in a way that it can be heard. All right. So thank you all very much for being here. I really appreciate you. I always try to stick to our time. even if we kind of mess around a little bit when we first get here, and let everybody go on the hour. So thank you very much. And I think, did we decide on what we're going to talk about next month? Are we conceptualizing human oneness, or are we working on the social determinants of mental health, or we'll get to it. So you all send me any topics that you have, and we'll see you next month. Neb, thank you. Neb, hold on, please. Bye, y'all.
Bye, have a good one.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Mhm.